Hello, folks. I'm Detroit Miracle. Yes, and indeed. Now, welcome to the miracle moment for supply and demand. You've all heard that particular phrase, supply and demand, meaning the things that you feel you must have, the things that you feel you need, the things that you feel you desire are provided out there plentiful. If the demand is so high for something, then the provider, of course, provides that particular, but everything isn't affordable. So you got to figure affordability in it. There's a huge supply and demand for medicines, for food services, for drink services, for tobacco services, for alcohol services, for luxury items, for expensive commodities, and so forth. But do you really need all of those things which are in high in demand, or that you feel that you desire so much in regards to essentials to living and non-essentials to living? You must think about that. And of course, the people make the demand for something. They make it a great demand for something, and they make a lesser demand for something. And like I said, you have to figure affordability in there. Everybody desires mansions. Everybody desires Ferraris. Everybody desires Rolexes, in other words, but everybody can't afford them. But nevertheless, they make the supply for them abundantly, and some might wonder, hey, why do people demand things that are so expensive that they can't afford? That's because those particular things lay in the desire part of your soul, your mind, your spirit, and they may motivate you to excel in life and to accomplish things in order to get those. So the things that are in demand, that are too priced high, of course, they provide a sense of motivation to people in order to drive them to excel and to become overly successful so that they can afford those particular things. So that part, it makes sense that they would make the supply abundantly for those that desire stuff that they can't afford. If it motivates a person to go to school, do all their work, become very successful and accomplished in life so that they can afford those things, and it makes sense. Now, but people don't necessarily need expensive luxury items and things that are overly priced, but nevertheless they desire to have them. But there is a choice in the matter with that supply and demand for overly priced items. You can somehow purchase them by whatever means that you use to gain those, or you can go without them. In other words, and stick within the essentials for your very living, like food and water, of course, which is in high in demand, of course, and is much more, or is less affordable than the overly priced items and things. So in other words, get your priorities set in terms of what you actually need and desire, and as an essential for your living and being, as compared to things that you might not necessarily need, but you still desire to have those things. And it's nothing wrong with wanting nice things and nice commodities and nice services and goods and things like that. But what do you prioritize for, the overly priced or the essentials? Nevertheless, those things are provided abundantly out there. Like, there's a million Ferraris, there's a million Rolexes, there's a million mansions and palaces, but are they really essentials for your living and being and of course happiness in life? Some feel that they are, some feel that they aren't. But it's up to you, the person, to determine that for yourselves. And if you determine one over another, then you're comfortable with that decision, of course, in terms of desiring overly priced things or being comfortable and happy with the basic necessities for living, existing, and being. All right, folks, thanks for joining me for the Miracle Moment.